Okay, so this video is going to be on adding whole numbers. All right, so let me get to my whiteboard. Okay, so adding whole numbers. Not generally the hardest thing you're ever going to do, but one thing I have found in my time working with students is oftentimes when you're assessed, when you take a quiz or a test, it's the really easy stuff that you make mistakes on. And the reason is you don't slow down and work the problems out carefully. You rush through it. You think, oh, this is easy. You blow through the problem, and then you never go back and check your work. So even though addition of whole numbers is quite easy, you still need to take your time with this. Okay. So before I show you some examples, you do need to know a couple of definitions. The first is numbers being added together are called add-ins. All right. So any numbers that you're adding would be add-ins. You have at least 2 of them. You could have as many add-ins as needed, though. You can see problems where you're adding 10, 15, 20 different numbers. So each of those numbers being added together, add-ins. And then the result to an addition problem is called a sum. All right. And then something else you need to know is just words that would indicate addition. Okay. I cannot possibly come up with a list of all words or phrases that would indicate addition, but you do need to start becoming at least a little bit familiar with what words in the English language would tell you that you need to add. So words or phrases would be in addition to, more than, plus, find the sum. Whoops. Okay, those are just a few examples. You could have something like extra. All right, any kind of word that would indicate that you're piling something on. Okay, so let's look at examples. So let's say I have 17 plus 31. 17 and 31 would be considered your add-ins. We're going to look to find the sum. We don't know what it is yet. I find that it's much easier to perform addition if you add vertically. So the first thing I do is I would convert my problem to a vertical setup if it's not already set up that way. And what we do is we add column by column, starting from the right and working our way left. Notice that my numbers are lined up on the right-hand side, and in this case, left-hand side too, but I'll show you an example where we have different numbers of digits for each of our add-ins. When you're setting up a problem, if you do have different numbers of digits for your add-ins, I usually put the larger digits at the top and the smaller digits at the bottom, okay? But it really doesn't matter. So in this particular problem, everything's lined up vertically. I want to take 7 and I want to add it to 1. So 7 plus 1 is 8. And then I want to go to the next column and I want to take 1 plus 3, which is 4. So the sum of 17 and 31 is 48. Let's try another one. Let's say we have 562 plus 324. Again, I'm going to convert this to a vertical setup. All right, each of these numbers has 3 digits, so it doesn't really matter which number you put first or second. And then we're going to add column by column. So 2 plus 4 is 6. And then 6 plus 2 is 8. And 5 plus 3 is 8. So the sum of these two numbers is 886. Now, in some cases, when you add column by column, your sum is going to be greater than 9. Okay, you could get a sum of 10 or more. And when that happens, you have to do something called carrying. And this might be something you haven't had to do in quite a while by hand because we've become so heavily reliant on calculators and then the calculator app on your cell phone. But let's look at an example. Let's say I have 788 plus 97. Okay. So in this case, my add-ins are 788 and 97. I'm going to look for my sum. Because 788 has 3 digits versus 2 digits in 97, I'm going to start by putting the 788 first, And then when I add my 97, I'm going to shove the 97 all the way over to the right. You always want to make sure everything is right hand aligned. Okay, so with addition, and then again, when we talk about subtraction, everything needs to be vertical and right hand aligned. Now I'm going to go ahead and add column by column. So you'll notice here, 8 plus 7, we need to add that, and we would get 15. Well, I've only got space right here for one digit. So what I do is I put that digit that's in the ones place, that would be the 5, and then I carry the digit that's in the tens place. So 15, I've got the ones place here, the tens place here. And now I keep adding. 9 plus 8 is 17. 17 plus 1, I add that 1 that I carry, is going to be 18. And again, I've got a sum greater than 9, so I put the digit in the ones place of 18 right here, and then I carry the 1 to the next column. So my 18, I've got the ones place here, the tens place here. And now I add my final column. 1 and 7 is 8. So the sum of 788 and 97 is 885. Let's try another example. Let's say I have 4,085 plus 362 plus 608. Okay, so I've got 4,085 plus 362 plus 608. What's different about this particular problem is I have 3 add-ins, okay? So when I line them up vertically, since 4,085 has 4 digits, I'm going to start with that one. I always put the number with the most digits at the top, and then I work my way down to the number with the smallest number of digits. As far as 362 and 608, they both have 3 digits. It does not really matter which one you put first. And now when I add, you've got to be a little bit more careful because you have 3 numbers that you're adding at once. So use your fingers, do some side work, whatever. So here I've got 8 plus 2 is 10, and then 10 plus 5 is 15. I'm going to keep the 5 and carry the 1. All right. For the next column, 0 plus 6 is 6. 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 plus 1 is, again, 15. I'm going to keep the 5, carry the 1. For my next column, I have 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10, so I'm going to keep the 0. I'm going to carry the 1. And then finally, 1 plus 4 is 5. So the sum of 4,085 with 362 and 608 is 5,055. And if you're dealing with a 4-digit number, you don't really have to put the comma. Anything bigger than 4 digits, you absolutely need the comma. But let's go ahead and get in the practice of putting our commas in our numbers. So starting from the right-hand side, you go back 3 digits, put a comma, go back 3 digits, put a comma, and so forth. Let's try another one. Let's say I have 26,981 plus 4,805. All right. Since 26,981 has 5 digits versus 4 digits and 4,805, I'm going to start by putting the 26,981 on top. And then underneath that, I'm going to align the 4,805, and I'm going to make sure everything lines up on the right. And then we're going to add column by column. So 5 plus 1 is 6. 8 plus 0 is 8. 9 plus 8 is 17, so I keep a 7. I carry a 1. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11, so I keep a 1. I carry a 1. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. And then my final answer here is 31,786. And remember, starting at the right, I'm going to go back 3 digits. So 31,786. Let's do one more example. Let's say I have 207,466, and I'm going to add 38,209. All right, this one's already vertical, so we don't have to do anything as far as that is concerned. Everything's already right-hand aligned. So starting at the right, I'm going to add column by column. So 9 plus 6 is 15. I keep a 5, I carry a 1. 0 plus 6 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 2 plus 4 is 6. I'm going to go ahead and put my comma in there. And then 8 plus 7 is 15. I'm going to keep a 5. I'm going to carry a 1. 3 plus 0 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. And there's nothing to add with the 2, so I just drop it down. So my sum is $245,675. Let's try one more, and then we'll look at a word problem. Let's say I have $5,074,628. To that, I want to add 281,643. All right, everything is right hand aligned. I'm going to go through column by column and add. 8 plus 3 is 11, so I'm going to keep a 1, carry a 1. 4 plus 2 is 6, and then 6 plus 1 is 7. 6 plus 6 is 12, so I keep a 2, I carry a 1. Notice I put my comma in there. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 1 is 6. I then have 7 plus 8, which is 15, so I keep a 5, I carry a 1. 2 plus 0 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And there's nothing to add with my 5, so I just bring that down. So the sum here is 5,356,271. All right, let's quickly look at a word problem. So let's say Paulette has a paycheck for $427 plus a birthday check from her grandmother for $25. If Paulette already had $126 in her account, what will Paulette's balance be? I'll put balance in her account be. After depositing these two checks. All right, so word problems are always extra tricky because there's a ton of information in there, okay? Now, what we have is a paycheck of $427, so that's money that Paulette has earned. We have a birthday check of $25, that's money that Paulette is earning or adding to her account. We had a previous balance of $126 in Paulette's account, and what we want to know is what is the grand total of all three of these, okay? Now, there's not really a word or phrase that absolutely can be pinpointed as the word or phrase that would indicate addition, but we basically want to know what will Paulette's account be after depositing all of these checks. So the word here would kind of be depositing. When you deposit money in an account, you're adding to your account. So we're going to take Paulette's previous balance of 126. We're going to add the paycheck of 427, and we're going to add the birthday gift of $25. Notice everything is right hand aligned, just like all the previous examples. All right, I'm going to add column by column. So 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. I'm going to keep an 8. I'm going to carry a 1. 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus 2 more is 6. Plus 1 is 7. And then 4 plus 1 is 5. So here's the thing. When you're dealing with word problems, always label your answer. It's never okay just to have a naked number like 578. We want to say Paulette has an account balance of $578. So when you're dealing with word problems, you need to make sure you always label your answer. All right. So that's a quick overview of adding whole numbers. Okay. The next video, whoops, I have the camera covered. The next video in line is going to be subtracting whole numbers. All right. Let me know if you need anything.